Hi, this is Wayne Johnson with Anglers Habitat here in Caldwell, Idaho. You can find us at www.anglershabitat.com. This coming year, we're going to be doing some nice features, and we're going to do video fishing reports. And I have to my left here Clint Smith. Clint, welcome back.
Thank you, Wayne.
Clint just came and joined our team here at Anglers Habitat, and everything worked out right, and he's with us. And so if you folks come by, say hello, and he is going to do the fishing report for us today. And we're going to talk about fishing in Stanley, steelhead fishing. We're going to talk about the Owyhee and what's happened on the Owyhee and a little bit of the South Fork of the Boise. And if you have any questions once we do the fishing report, please get back to us here at Anglers Habitat or give us a call at 454-8188, and we will answer those questions for you. Clint, what's going on in the Owyhee?
Actually, water just came up.
Yep.
And so we got a little bit of a disadvantage for, I'd say, 4 or 5 days. Not a big deal. I think the fish are going to get moved, and I think the fish are going to be back to normal, no problems. We don't have anything crazy going on as far as with the water coming up. It's back to normal flows, what they are all summer long. And the way it came up pretty rapidly, so the fish are going to stage where they're going to be for the rest of the summer, I think. So I would say in the next 2 to 3 days, fishing should get back to normal, and we should see some good hatches again.
Nice. And what kind of hatches do you think we're looking at right now?
As of right now, the squallows are definitely a possibility, and with the higher water being closer to the willows, we may see more of those bugs in the water. There will always be the midges and the blue wings. Warmer water means more bugs moving, and if we can get the weather to line out and warm up the water a little more, we should see the calibrated start pretty quick too.
Nice, nice. I know a lot of people, I'm not a big streamer guy, but streamers have been working pretty well too, so if you want to strip some olive or black leeches to the water, I think you'll have some success there too. One thing to mention is, and I've got a question to pose to you, Clint, is I have a confession. I've never seen a squallow on the Owyhee, so it's not a big, prominent hatch, is it?
It's not a prolific hatch. We, living in the state we do live in, we're at a disadvantage with this hatch because we do have salmon flies, golden stones, which are a very prolific hatch. We see a lot of bugs in the river. If you see 1 or 2 squallows on the water in a day, you should probably be fishing the flies because the fish are going to be looking up.
Mm-hmm. One thing I've noticed too is I have actually fished squallows, never seen them, but I've fished them and I've done well with them. And I've used them as a strike indicator, and down below I'll trail like a disco midge or
Absolutely.
a zebra midge, small, size 20, and the combination works well. And another thing I've noticed too is that if I'm going to fish a squallow or a hopper, I like fishing it in the riffles. So that's what I would be looking for, is fishing in that moving water. Fish do not have a chance to really take a look and say, do I or do I not? They just grab it. So.
Yep.
Okay, with that being said, let's talk a little bit about the South Fork of the Boise coming up.
South Fork of the Boise has been fishing really well, but we've only got a few days left to fish it.
Right.
It closes at the end of the month until Memorial Day weekend, which is opening day. They have been catching some nice rainbows, mostly nymphing, but a little bit of blue wing activity. The flows are still pretty standard between 300 and 400 CFS, so it's very wadeable. But like I said, you've only got about a week left to fish it, so you better hurry.
Yeah, it closes till, like Clint said, till Memorial Day weekend. Are they using any dries going on the South Fork?
A little bit of a blue wing activity on the right kind of days. The wind in the canyon's been a little bit finicky to make fishing dries tougher. The guys I've talked to have been catching a lot of fish consistently, have been fishing small beadhead nymphs, pheasant tails, hare's ears, and fishing them fairly deep in some of the better runs that are going to hold the better fish.
Great. So now let's talk about my favorite subject and this time of year, and that is steelhead fishing. This is about the only time I get a chance to get out and go experience a little steelhead fishing. Now, I like going to Stanley and fish the Salmon River from Stanley to Chalice. From what I understand is the fish haven't moved up into Stanley quite in any kind of numbers yet. Have you heard anything about what's going on in the hatchery as far as numbers getting into the hatchery?
There's no fish clear to the Sawtooth hatchery yet, which is in Stanley. There are fish coming in, and all the lower hatcheries are reporting good numbers of fish. It looks like from the counts coming over Bonneville and the other dams that we should have a good return. And there's rumor of fish being as far up as Clayton, which puts them probably another month to have a good number of fish in Stanley.
I mean, last year the run was a little early, so this year the
Right.
run's just a little late.
A little bit later.
Usually by now we're catching good numbers of fish. as far as, like you said, Clayton and right in the Clayton area, but it just doesn't look like it's happening quite yet. But doesn't give you a reason not to go. You can still go experiment. The weather's been wonderful up there last weekend. It was in the 40s and the 50s. If you fish Stanley this time of year, that's a real exceptional day. Last year I went and I actually got a tan fishing for steelhead. There was snow on the bank, but it was just warm. It was 55, 60 degrees, sun was out, and the best part of it, fishing was great. What I like to use this time of year is assorted egg patterns as a dropper. I like using small stuff, and they could be in assorted colors. I use pink, orange, cheese, and so I would experiment with that, and I like using Prince Nymphs as a dropper, large Prince Nymphs. You're talking size 8s, even 6s, and then above that I'm using a Kaufman stone weighted. And of course you definitely want to feel that bounce, and if you're feeling that bounce, you're going to pick up fish. The fish number should be, I mean, when it picks up and it lights off, it's going to be quick. And with the warmer temperatures and with the water temperature coming up, those fish should be moving.
Absolutely. You should get a good run of fish. One thing to remember too, these fish have swum a long ways and seen a lot of things in the water. So don't be afraid to change it up. If your standard pinks and purples and whatnot aren't working, try a chartreuse or try a blue. Try something that those fish just haven't seen and see if that's what it's going to take to trigger that strike.
Yeah, it's interesting that, I'm glad you mentioned that because I totally agree with you. I know one year one thing will work up there and the next year it just doesn't work.
Absolutely.
And you change it up a little bit and change the colors a little bit and it works fine. Last year the big color was, everybody said you had to use chartreuse. Everybody came in here looking for chartreuse glow bugs. We couldn't find them. We bought all we could buy. This year, nobody's asked for a chartreuse glow bug.
So far, I mean, it's
so. Yeah, I bring. If you saw my box, it is packed with what I call possibilities.
Absolutely.
And the possibilities are, it could be this color, this size, that size. In the same way as where I fish, there's a particular hole I love to fish. It's about 10 miles above Stanley, so you're going downriver. And every year, I could count on getting 2 or 3 fish in this hole in the afternoon, about 1 or 2 o'clock when the water temperature gets a certain temperature. They just seem to be there. Last year, not one. So you just never know. Change spots, change tactics, and I think you'll do well. I think that's anything else there,
I think that pretty much wraps it up.
I think that wraps it up here, too. So this is week 1 of our fishing report. We'll try to bring you one every week. And we'll mix it up a little bit. It's going to be a little slow the next few weeks because everything closes this coming week on April 1st. There's still be some fishing available, like Stanley goes until the end of April. And of course the Owyhee fishes 365 days a year. So until next week, this is week 1. And by the way, today's date is March 25th. March 25th, 2011. So thank you very much. And if you got any questions, call us here at 454-8188, area code 208 for you out-of-state folks. And you can go on our website and get us on live chat, too, if you have any questions about fishing here in our great area. If you have any questions about the local area as far as where to stay and such, just get in contact with us, and we'll do it. Thank you, Clint. I appreciate it,
Thank you, Wayne.